Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to take a look at the star systems beyond Pyro. Now, a lot of you may have seen a lot of the Evocati 4.0 live streams. They lifted the NDA so Evocati members can share their experience with the community. And a lot of you that have been seeing that footage have probably noticed that it seems pretty stable. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to get 4.0 this year confirmed, but it looks like CIG are really ambitious to get the patch out by the end of the year. Now, a lot of these star systems that are coming out for 1.0, 5 in particular, are very interesting because they're very different. So that's why I wanted to take a look at the presentations from CitizenCon to kind of see what we're going to get and where we're possibly going to want to make our home in the future. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. It may end up being a longer one. So, grab some popcorn, get comfy, and let's take a look at this content together and kind of theorycraft what this experience is going to be like.
So right now, it's all hands on deck to make 4.0 the best experience for you. Richer locations, deeper gameplay, better experiences. All with completely new and wonderful music from Pedro, which will create an evocative.
I just want to say, Pedro has been doing an incredible job with the music. He's a really amazing composer, and he was just a fan of the game, and he reached out to the team and wanted to make music for it, and he couldn't have been a better match. In all honesty, any gaming studio would be lucky to have a composer like Pedro, and he just keeps knocking it out of the park with every new location released. We're really lucky to have him.
An emotional backdrop. Rich and I have been working directly with Pedro for many months now. Beautiful music awaits.
I can't wait.
But today, I'm going to talk to you about what's beyond Pyro. So let's strap in and we'll take a look. My name's Ian. I'm the creative director for Star Citizen. And let's start by looking up into the stars and saying hello to an old friend.
So I gotta say, right off the bat, that looks incredibly impressive. Now, what we're seeing there is the asteroid belt in Nyx, and that is the new Delamar. Very excited to see that. It is actually an asteroid now, not just a planetoid. And we'll go deeper into more information about what we can expect from this incredible new landing zone.
Awesome. All right. So this is Nyx system. Nyx was discovered in 2582 by Carl Larry during the height of the newly formed United Empire of Earth's territorial expansion. Its most defining feature, and the source of its name, is the sprawling black dust cloud that occupies most of the system. The dust cloud severely hampers visibility and can interfere with your ship's scanners. This system does, however, border with Vandal space.
Okay, so that is the interesting thing that I feel like a lot of people didn't really know about. So that is gonna lead to a lot of interesting gameplay opportunities, in my personal opinion. Having the Vandal in game, it's technically gonna be the first intelligent alien race in the game. Of course, we have alien species with the Copion and the Merok, but this is going to be the first intelligent alien species we have in the game. And so it's going to be very interesting to see Van Duel, coming into contact with them for the first time as players, and potentially fighting them. I'm very excited for that. Again, this isn't necessarily something that has to come with 1.0. More than likely, we will get Nyx before 1.0. It looks like they're pretty far ahead in its development, but whenever it does come out, it's gonna be very exciting to be able to fight the Vandal.
So, visitors are being advised there are Vandal raiding parties hitting locations throughout the system.
And that's going to be super exciting. I don't know if they're going to be hitting like settlements, outposts on the 2 planets that are in Nyx, but again, it's going to be really exciting to actually come across them for the first time.
But despite this, a small community has formed in the system, and this is on an asteroid in the belt between Nyx 2 and Nyx 3. And this asteroid is called Delamar. And here it is, hidden deep in the Glacium Ring. But actually...
So that's what it's called. It's called the Glacium Ring. And it's between Nyx 1 and Nyx 2.
Delamar should be, and now is, an actual asteroid. And as it's an asteroid, the space is a 0G location, giving a unique identity for a landing zone. So let's take a closer look at the main POI on Delamar.
I'm gonna hide my camera really quick so you guys can get a better look at what this landing zone looks like, because I think this is really impressive stuff. So yeah, let me just do that really quick. Really impressive stuff there. I mean, this is kind of like Grim Hex on steroids, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about this landing zone. Um, yeah, the visual style of it is incredibly impressive, and it's kind of like a faction-owned location. So, there are more than likely going to be different reputation type scenarios with this location. So let's see what they say about it.
Awesome. Awesome. So, for all that remember, it's awesome to be able to say, welcome back to Levski.
Yep.
And for new players, let me tell you why it's a cool place. This used to be an old mining facility, which was mothballed and then abandoned. There is an internal network of abandoned tunnels and mine shafts, and these are now populated with refugees, fugitives, and criminals. This is also the home to the People's Alliance, who you'll be doing some work for. And as Levski was made some time back, it needed to be updated so that it can fit into current gameplay features and systems and mission loops. So let's take a look at the first update, and that is to the hangars and landing services.
Okay, so as we can see here, looks like we have roughly just 5 of these fly-in hangars inside of the ring in the middle. And we can see 2 hangars right here. Also, docking ports, that's very important for the larger ships. And the Polaris is looking amazing. I don't expect that they're working on this ship, by the way. Release the Kraken!
Release the Kraken! All right, cool. So Levski is still perched over the borehole, but now has a suite of hangars that are arrayed around and in.
Oh wow, so it's more than 5. So you have all these hangars here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. So there might be 5 on each side. So there's like 10 hangars here in this ring. So that's really good. This is going to be a pretty high traffic area after all. So, and again, that's something that a lot of people kind of talk about and bring up a lot with server meshing and the expansion after, the 500, 1000, and 2000 player server meshing tests is, a lot of locations in the game kind of seems like they don't have enough facilities to facilitate all the players in the game being on one universal shard, because that was the initial intention with the game, is that there would be a global shard and everyone in the world would be playing on essentially one virtual server. But even if they did something like regional and did like a USA server, a European server and whatnot, I think that would be a lot of players going to one location. So you would need a lot of hangars, you would need a lot of habs. Even, with base building, everybody's not going to be base building right out of the gate. You're going to need facilities to have, 2,000, 10,000, maybe even 100,000 players. We don't know how big the server meshing can scale once they get to dynamic meshing. So I think that this location definitely needed to be updated, upgraded, and you could see that they're kind of looking towards the future where they have more hangars. And again, now that hangars are instance, these are just basically openings, right? So you'll fly to these openings, and there might be 10 openings, but in reality, there could be like 50 hangars inside this asteroid where players have all the time in the world to, you know, manage their ship and their components and decorations and whatever they decide to have in their personal hangars. So essentially, I think it has enough openings now for players to not have to queue up for too long, hopefully. But it's definitely one of those things where CIG is probably going to have to, you know, as the player base scales, so will the facilities in game. So some areas might have to get updated as well as, you know, these new star systems coming out to be able to have, you know, the capacity for the types of numbers that CIG wants. And again, during the 1.0 presentation, they didn't talk about player counts or anything like that. And of course, that makes sense because they're still trying to work out everything with silver meshing. So we don't know what the numbers are going to look like for 1.0, but you know, if they are 1,000 or something like that, it could get interesting with people kind of fighting over the access to a lot of these areas.
Inside the borehole, we're also increasing the quantity of hangars. This is to meet the ever-expanding players per server to remove hangar wait times. And this pass will be done for all landing zones in the game right now.
Okay, nice.
And for players that don't want to store their ship, docking services will be added high up on the cliff walls. Now, other than hangars and docking services, there are other ways to enter the location, which are also getting new updates. Let's take a look.
Oh, I'm gonna hide my camera again so you guys can see this a little bit better. That looks really impressive. Now, you could see there that there are landing pads on the exterior. It looks like it can handle a lot more traffic than the previous location. I'm excited for Nyx. I don't know if I'm going to make it my home just yet, but it looks like a really cool location.
So around the main entrance, there's still gravity plating for on-foot access. And these will lead to open landing pads for quick drop-off and pickup. And we're also adding access to gameplay areas for a variety of local missions and gameplay types. And
Very
as you
cool.
saw in the video, there will be banks of exterior freight elevators. These can be used for quicker gameplay loops without requiring hangar services. Now, as this is a zero-G location, it also gives an opportunity for another type of specialist freight services. Let's take a look.
Now, that was seriously cool. Now, a lot of us has, been wondering how CIG are going to fully implement, the Hull C type cargo behavior right now. Again, it is kind of, a gamified mechanic where you just park in a location and it gets automatically, loaded onto your ship. This is going to change in the future, and I think the implementation that CAG has brought about here, it just makes sense. To just load it up in zero-G, being able to use the Hull C's tractor beams to move it from the grid fin arms to a cargo grid that is just kind of out in space, an elevator that, can just go inside of the station, and you can load it up vertically like that. I think this is a great solution, and I think a lot of people are going to have fun loading and offloading the Hull C for the first time. Cargo loading to the grid in the hangar, I think is a pretty good experience. Of course, a lot of people don't like how long it takes, but this is going to be a different type of cargo hauling. So you see how they basically have all 32 SU boxes here. This is going to be bulk cargo hauling, so you're not really going to be dealing with a lot of those smaller boxes. And I think this is a great looking implementation.
All right, so first off, now the borehole goes all the way through the asteroid, which is awesome to fly through. And down at the base of the asteroid, there will be banks of exterior zero-G freight elevators. These will be priority access for Hull Series ships. So for all the Hull Series folks, we got you covered. The same functionality is also coming to space stations in both Stanton and Pyro.
And this honestly doesn't look like it's too far away. The implementation looks like they basically have it ready to go. They just need to port it over to the PU. Again, that's not, any official type timeline or anything like that, but I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, this mechanic looks pretty far along, and that they would just have to retrofit the stations in Stanton and Pyro to have these exterior zero-G cargo elevators for Hull Series ships. So again, this doesn't seem like something that's too far away to get added to the PU.
But wait, there's a little bit more. Let's take a look. All right, cool.
Cool.
So, the external freight elevators will now have direct access to cargo decks to be able to quickly sell or pick up for the next run. So that concludes some of the exterior updates coming to.
I just want to say something about that. I know that a lot of people were asking about cargo decks. And, I'm glad that CAG finally, added that implementation with these types of, zero-G cargo elevators. Because, again, you don't want to have to kind of go through the entire station and, do all of these different things when, CIG could kind of streamline the workflow and the gameplay loop where, you're doing everything kind of in the same vicinity. So if you're doing these types of bulk cargo hauling runs, you should honestly, just be able to deal with cargo elevators right there. And it's not to say that these, well, we don't know if the exclusive to Hull series ships, because technically you could back the C2, or a ship like the Ironclad, because remember the Ironclad's whole roof is designed to open up and it has those tractor beams on top. So we may be able to use these zero-G cargo elevators with other ships and just offload the ships to these cargo elevators, because I can't imagine offloading an Ironclad in a hangar. That's so much cargo and would take so long. So potentially it may be easier for ships like, again, the Ironclad, the Banu Merchantman, to offload their cargo at these locations. Just kind of fly up next to it and then have players EVA and move the boxes onto the cargo grid there. And it'll be a lot faster than having to, land the ship down, call up the cargo elevator and do all this stuff. This is definitely something you're going to want to do with multiple people though, if you are hauling a full load or something like that. But having the actual cargo deck right there with access to the zero-G cargo elevator, I think that's just genius. As a cargo hauler myself, I'm very excited for, this implementation and this updated rework. Hopefully, again, CIG has said that, this is coming to Stanton and Pyro as well. I don't know if the cargo deck integration with these locations are also coming to Stanton and Pyro, but I fully expect it to at some point, or basically, these locations will have an elevator that goes straight to the cargo decks. So let's keep going.
Levski. But the interior is also getting some updates to bring them in line with current gameplay requirements. These will be spaces like cargo services, as we just saw, for hauling and supplies, and refinement centers, so you don't need to travel far to refine your ore. And we're updating the interior layout to provide better access to gameplay spaces. So to conclude, Nick's system will be the next system after Pyro. Yay! Delamar is now a physical asteroid with a zero-G play space. All right, not so much. And we're updating Levski to fit current gameplay mechanics and gameplay loops. And most importantly, we're adding local areas for gameplay content.
Okay, before we get into this, I don't want this video to go too long. I know I said that this would be a longer video, but I think we'll save Castra for the next video, so you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. I'm very excited about Nyx. Again, when it comes to choosing the home, I think that Nyx has a lot of good options. What I like about it is that it is a smaller star system. It only has 2 planets. Okay, it has a relatively safe landing zone with Levski. It is a location that will have faction reputation, faction missions there with the people that kind of run Levski, that NPC group. It's gonna have good cargo opportunities. They said it has refining, lots of hangars over there, opportunities for gameplay, but it's not too overwhelming. It doesn't have as much planets as Pyro. And you have access to the Vandal raids that they talked about. So it seems like there's going to be a good amount of gameplay sprinkled around for somebody who wants, a more outlaw experience, but they don't want something, maybe as bad as Pyro. This, I think, Nyx might be like a more watered down version of Pyro. You have maybe a little bit more PvE, of course, with the Vandal raids and stuff like that. I think that it could be a very interesting system. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited about Nyx, Levski, and Delamar finally being an actual asteroid? Are you going to make Nyx your home? Are you going to just go there to trade cargo and refine and mine? Again, the glacial ring seems like it has a lot of asteroids, a lot of opportunities for mining out there. We know that Stanton's asteroid belt has a lot of good mining opportunities, but it doesn't really have that navigation and jump point. It doesn't have the gates. So CIG still has to add the gates to Stanton's asteroid belt ring. But this looks like it's going to be a great area to mine, and then you can just go to Levski and refine right there. And we don't know what type of interesting deposits are going to be on the planets in Nyx. So I think that this is a pretty cool system, and I'm very excited for Nyx to come out. So yeah, that's going to be it for me here in this video, you guys. Thanks again so much for hanging out with me and supporting the videos. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys that comment down below. So yeah, like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Salut!